Cool. So everybody heard of Selenium? Everyone's a tester here. Somebody should have heard of Selenium. How many people are actually using Selenium? One, two, few people. How many people heard of it, want to implement it, like really interested, web browser stuff, like awesome, right? Cool. Problems with Selenium. I don't like it at all. They're my pet peeve. Like it does everything wrong in terms of automation. Like you're automated from the front end. You're waiting for the software to be developed. It has to get deployed to your environment. You have to be able to interact with the elements. If the elements change, you got to change up the code. It happens right at the end of the software development lifecycle. Everything wrong. Like by the time you get a chance, if you're working in an agile team, it's about, I think you got to wait like, it's called 2 sprints behind, a sprint behind. I don't know like what people are doing nowadays in terms of automation. And you can't automate effectively with Selenium or any kind of these front end that's waiting for the end product to be deployed to environment. Yeah, to be able to start writing an automated test. And then it takes time, right? You got to spend time actually writing the test. And yeah, I don't know. I'm going to keep going if I keep talking about it. But I want to show you a tool that we came across. So we do have, at Allan, we have some Selenium tests. So what I wanted to take, I spoke to Matt about was, we always have these meetups, and I've been for a lot of different conferences, and a lot of time it's a lot of talks about a lot of things, and there's nothing you can take back. There's nothing you can take back and actually like go tomorrow and say, download this code and I can actually do something and change something. So I wanted to give people something or a tool and start a new series, like Matt was kind of envisioning, around tools that people use rather than just like processes and good practices. So Selenium is one of them. The tool that we chose was Nightwatch. Disclaimer that this is not a toolkit, and I'm not a developer, so I don't develop code on a daily basis, and it's not going to be the silver bullet. It's not going to solve all your problems. And like I said, there's many ways to skin a cat, and this is kind of what I'm looking at here is like anybody that's really starting off with Selenium, never used it before, or somebody that's really an expert and looking to do things in a better way. This will help you. So if you're looking at Selenium or like any kind of front-end browser stuff, what you want to look at is they actually phased out the IDE recently. And now they've got Selenium Grid, I think version 3 now, which is basically running Selenium as a service, and then you can plug into it. We wanted something that has manageable config. Anybody here that's worked with Selenium knows that it's quite a headache to like set up and create all your desired capabilities and be able to have it running effectively and manage your grid and all of that kind of stuff. We also wanted readable and maintainable tests. Like something that's kind of, you don't want anybody to just writing code, and then when somebody looks at it, there's no way that they can understand what's happening. We wanted POMs, which is page object model. It's kind of like a newish buzzword in like the automation kind of space, especially in the front end space, which basically means that every element on your page has a specific name or a specific ID or a specific something that you can interact with as a tester alone. So a lot of people use CSS selectors and a lot of people use export selectors, and those vary. So export selector is basically the position on a page, and if it moves from position 1 to position 5, you've got to update the position, and your test will fail until you update the position. If you use CSS selectors, those are usually used for styling. If you use something that's called button style 1, and all of a sudden your design team or your developer team decides to change to button style 2 or heading 2, then your tests fail again and you've got to update the test. So page object models help to basically assign a variable to a specific element, and you can name it something specific that only the tester would use. We wanted something also as parallel execution because Selenium tests are dirt slow. I think we spoke about before, like launching up a browser. I've had numerous discussions with other testers about actually spawning up these things and trying to run them individually and sequentially. It just takes forever. If you ever try to load a website, you'll see it now in the demo. It takes quite a lot of time. So we wanted something that can run multiple browser sessions multiple times. That's also a hardware restriction. I don't know if you ever tried to load up Chrome with about 50 tabs and then watch your computer crawl to a big halt. It doesn't work well. So if you would want to do this, you've got to have like this significant hardware to do that. So we wanted a tool that can run parallel. Screenshots and failure is quite a common concept in the front-end UI automation thing. It's like if something failed, I want to see what failed, and you want to take a screenshot and tell you. I don't just want a line that says I couldn't click button X. I want to see that button X couldn't actually be clicked. We wanted also room for customization, so if there was a click method or some kind of method that we were calling up with this particular tool, we want to be able to customize it and make it do something different. Maybe you wanted to wait for the button to be visible, or wait for you to interact with the button before you click it, or wait for the button to go green before you had to do something to it. So we wanted it to be a little bit customizable, and we wanted something that was free. We moved, Allan moved kind of our whole stack into JavaScript front end and Scala back end, basically a full open source stack. We didn't want to pay for tools, so there's tools like QTP, there's tools, I mean numerous number of tools that's commercially